Good evening here, everybody. It's dark down here in front of the courthouse. We're all outside now. They've got the courthouse locked up. They was just waiting for us to get out tonight. It was a long day. We got everything accomplished that the government wanted to have accomplished today. We had the remaining 6 defendants and their attorneys. They all got their closing arguments today, and the government finished up with the final closing argument just a little bit ago. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have an hour or so instructions to the jurors, and then they turn it over to the jurors, and the jurors will be in deliberation starting tomorrow. This will go on until they're done. So I guess I got a lot of notes. I probably won't be able to get them all in today, but I'll try to get everything I can here, try to sum it up. So as I mentioned at lunch, Ryan Bundy took the stand first thing this morning. Took him a little over an hour to do his closing arguments. He done awesome. He started out just a little bit slow. You can tell he was a little nervous, but by the time it was done, he was representing himself very well. And he represented himself, that showing how he did not commit conspiracy as they're charging, and these gun charges that they've charged him with. See you later. Okay, see ya. So everybody's taking off down here. That was Jeanette Finicum and Carol Bundy. It was awesome to have them here today.
Hi to all my haters out there. Love you. Mwah.
Trying to give them an update here. I'm slow. I'm tired. So
I know, it was a long day.
It was a long day.
It was a long day, and prosecution, man, he didn't pull out any stops at the end of the day. Gabriel, he was agitated. He was angry. He was ready to send everybody off to prison for the rest of their lives, including women and children, I think, by the end of the day. But isn't that what they all do? I think the hardest part for me with Gabriel is that everything he describes these guys doing is what I had to go through just to get into the courthouse today. I had armed guards, I had security, I had to go through surveillance. Everything that these men did at the refuge that they're using against them now, even though they're saying the public who came said it was not an intimidating environment. So the only ones intimidated were the tyrannical government. That's the only ones who were intimidated. So at the end of the day, the government wins because they have more guns, and they can ambush people on back roads with no cell service. That's why they win. I felt intimidated today. I had tasers all around me. There were weapons. There was handcuffs. I got talked to again today because I smiled too much when Schindler was giving his testimony. They pulled me out because they said, "You're smiling too much and it's distracting the jury." The jury couldn't even see me from where I was sitting in the courtroom. So it's just a total joke. And I felt very intimidated today. People conspired to keep me out of a federal building. Had I not had my identification, they would have made me leave. And Gabriel stood there and said, had it been a Fish and Wildlife employee, you guys would not have let them in. And even though that's not even correct, here they can conspire to keep me out of a building, or anybody else for that matter who doesn't comply. And it's completely okay because we're the stupid American people who pay their bills. We're not, we're not the federal government. We're not the elite. We're not the king's people. So, everything he described about the refuge, all I could think of is that's everything we witnessed here today just to get into this courtroom. And he talked about the armed guards all around and how that's proof they impeded. And I'm looking around at armed guards all the way around the courtroom. But again, king's people versus peasants.
Yep. On 13 today, room 13, they cleared the whole courtroom, made us miss about 30 to 40 minutes of the court trial because somebody was eating Skittles. And so they cleared the whole courtroom. They made us leave. They searched each and every individual person to make sure we didn't have candy on us, Skittles, M&Ms.
Are you kidding
Yes,
me?
they cleared the whole courtroom for that. And we was unarmed. We wasn't armed. The only people that were the tyrants again were the people that was in the court. We're not even in the main courtroom. 13 is only a TV monitor, so it's totally wrong.
I'm just looking at your comments.
Totally wrong. It's how they cleared us, and Schindler was up giving the closing arguments. We got to miss about 30 minutes of that, or a little bit more.
Of Schindler?
Of Schindler's.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even take notes on Schindler's. He totally killed it, knocked it out of the park. I think some people in here are going to go commit crimes just so that they can hire Schindler. Even some of the trolls, they were just like, oh my gosh, that guy just totally killed it. He was absolutely amazing, and I decided that I wasn't going to take notes because I didn't want to do a disservice to how incredibly awesome he did and the points that he proved. He, as an attorney, said that he is intimidated at the very presence of the building that he stands in every day when he has to come to federal court. He said, look around at the power in this building. Just look at it. This is a strong government that we are up against, and it's incredibly intimidating. It's a very powerful system that we're fighting here, and not everybody has the courage to fight it like Ammon Bundy did and be principled. And now it's in the jury's hands, but yeah, Schindler did awesome.
And it's the first time. No, it's the first time he did the. It was the first time that he said he ever represented the Constitution.
Yep.
And he tried to bring up the Constitution a little bit, but that was awesome. He said everyone he has ever represented has never had the constitutional rights. Like he didn't even know the Constitution. 20 years of being a lawyer, and he never had the Constitution brought up this way. And he said this Constitution was for these guys. Yeah. This is what it was for. He told me the other day also that he's never ever represented someone here in this federal court building in the last 20 years that had God. He said 0% is how he said it. And he said this is the first time that he has actually represented someone that believed in God the way these men did. He said he was proud to be a part of this team. He represented every single person, all 7 defendants.
Yep, he did. He did awesome. Some of the attorneys focused more just on their defendant, but he covered them all. So did Mumford.
David Fry's attorney did okay for David Fry, but he mainly concentrated just on David Fry. And he was trying to show where David Fry was not part of this and how he came in late, which was good. It was a good representation of David Fry, but Mumford represented every single party in the defendants. Schindler did. Also, Jeff Banta, his attorney, represented everybody, and he brought up the Constitution. The Constitution was struck down every single time one of them tried to read it today. They would not let it be a part of this trial, not even in the closing arguments, which was pretty bad to me. I don't know why they wouldn't even let it be read in court at all.
He couldn't even just open it and read a few lines from it. Nope. It's not allowed.
Can't even read a few lines out of it. Overall today, I am very pleased with what I seen. I think the prosecution stumbled through their stuff. They was obviously nervous. They was upset and aggravated of listening to close to 9-10 hours total from yesterday and the day of closing arguments from the defense.
Your birthday is this Sunday?
I think so.
Oh shoot! Thank you, Deb.
So, but I'm seeing God work in this, and I really think we're going to get a not guilty verdict out of these jurors. It's there is no evidence in here. The defense team proved it today, and we're going to get to see this. We won't get a verdict till next week. I know,
or later.
Or later, so it won't be any time just immediately, not this week at all. But I'm going to go through my notes a little better tonight, and tomorrow I'll do a live stream and actually go through a bunch of important things that I think that were good to bring up. So tomorrow at noon, I'll do another live stream
from home, because he's going to stay home
from
with
home.
His family.
That's right.
So the jury will meet tomorrow morning, and then they'll go and take all their evidence and go start deliberating. And then some of the other attorneys said that it's more than likely it's going to be a hung jury. It seems like the ones that we have, but the ones that we don't, we clearly don't. And it's not likely that some of them are going to change just because of somebody else's information that they provide. So Our bet is a hung jury and then an acquittal because, the prosecution dropping the charges. Because with the hung jury, we have to go through this all over again. And that means that Ammon and Ryan will not be able to get off to Nevada to face the charges there, and they will end up holding up the February case. So our guess is that they'll drop all the charges. I don't think that would mean they have to drop the charges for the February group, but that's our best guess at this point.
So, well, thanks a lot for joining us, and tomorrow at noon I'll give you a better detailed version of what's happened the last couple of days. Thanks a lot, and good night.